Belief can start a business, but belief alone cannot grow it. You were never meant to carry it all. At some point in your journey, your belief needs a structure. It needs a way to turn your ideas into movement. It needs a way for your movement to go into momentum. It needs a way for your effort to turn into something that keeps working after you close your laptop. And even with the right systems, there still will be days when you know exactly what to do and you simply do not feel like doing it. And that's not a strategy problem. Sometimes it's a plain old human problem. And that's why I believe sustainable business growth needs these three things: belief that'll start the journey, a system that helps to move the momentum forward, and the community that creates longevity. The first one, belief. Before the customer, there's belief. Before the audience, there's belief. Before there's proof, there's belief. Belief is necessary. It is necessary. You have to believe the results before they show up. You have to believe that, well, I won't say have to. You get to choose to believe. You choose to believe the results will show up. You choose to believe that before other people understand what you're building, you believe. And sometimes you keep believing when the evidence feels a little bit quiet and it hasn't come in yet. But you know that you're doing the things that will bring the outcome you want. Without belief, you may want to quit when it gets hard because it will get hard. I'm not saying that it has to be hard. I'm saying as you're moving into a space that you've never been before, there is a hard part of it because it's unknown. Maybe it's not as much hard as it is unknown and unsure. You can second guess yourself, you shrink back, you stop talking about what you offer, and you change directions too quickly, not giving what you're building a chance to marinate and to stick and to land. And sometimes without that belief, you can abandon the process before you get a chance to see it work. That belief is necessary. It gives you the courage before the confidence actually comes. That belief also gives you the willingness to take one more step when you cannot see the whole staircase. Absolutely. But belief alone does not keep your business going. You can believe strongly, deeply, without hesitation, passionately in what you offer and still have trouble trying to explain it. You can believe in the vision and still forget to follow up. You can believe that you are called and you still have no way for people to find you, understand you, or buy from you. So, absolutely, belief is necessary. But belief without the structure, oh my. Can you say frustration? You know you have something valuable, you know you're meant to serve, but every week it just seems like you're starting over. And when that happens long enough, you'll start to question whether the vision was something real or is there no vision at all. The issue that follows after you have that strong belief is you're trying to do things that should be part of a system. And so the second thing that you need that goes along with your vision is some type of system, a system that works for you. You know what I finally realized? I didn't need another motivational quote. I needed someone to teach me how business actually worked. I needed to understand, how does traffic become conversations? How do conversations become customers? How do I make having those next level conversations not feel weird and icky and salesy? And how do I build something that continues to serve people when I am doing things that aren't work related, like vacation, or when I'm taking a couple of days away just from not having the computer on? The question is, how do you create movement without having to push every single day? And That's one of the reasons why I plugged into the Home Business Academy. Not because I lacked desire, not because I didn't believe in myself, not because I needed somebody to hype me up. I really wanted understanding. I wanted systems. I wanted to stop guessing. How do you convert conversations to sales? I wanted to stop rebuilding my business every Monday and feeling like I had to be on all the time. Because this is what happened when I didn't have the infrastructure in place. I would make a post, but then I wouldn't have a next step to go with it. I have a conversation, but I wouldn't have a way to follow up. I'd create interest, but I didn't have a pathway. And I'd meet someone new who would need what I'd offer, but then life would get busy and the conversation would disappear from my inbox. And let me let me help you make it easy on yourself. That's not a lack of commitment. That's a lack of structure. And I know structure sometimes gets a bad name because, we're entrepreneurs. We want to be free to evolve and to create. And one of the things that I found is with structure, it's not it's not boxing you in. It's actually freeing you up. I know I talk to a lot of business owners. They're exhausted. They're exhausted. They're trying to solve problems with more effort. If I could just put more effort, if I could just put more effort. So they tell themselves, I need to post more. I'm not disciplined enough. I need to work harder. I need to stop being so inconsistent. I need more time. And granted, sometimes you may need more time, but it also may be your system is not supporting you with the time that's available. So it's not necessarily a discipline. It's not necessarily a default inconsistency. Sometimes the work is too dependent on you, your mood, and your energy, especially for us. Especially when our energy needs to be so on and so up because of how we're wired. And when everything is manual and everything waits for you, everything stops when you do. That is not freedom. That's pressure with a business name attached to it. What happens when you start to look at that second piece beyond belief and you look at systems, you're starting to create a different experience. A system gives your belief somewhere to travel. It's that bridge between here's my intention and here's my execution without me having to burn out. It helps people move from discovering you to understanding you, from understanding you to trusting you, from trusting you to making a decision whether or not they want to partner with you or refer to you. And systems don't replace relationships. They actually support relationships. They don't make your business seem like you're cold and unpersonal. They make your business seem more clear. They actually reduce the chance that someone gets forgotten simply because you had a full week. I have been there. I have been there. And that matters to me because I'm not on all the time. You're not on all the time either. I don't want my business depending on me being on all the time. I don't want my income to disappear every time I need a rest. I want to build something that doesn't punish me for having a life. Like I'm not doing it to have more to do. I'm doing it to have a life. So I want a business that supports the life I'm called to live. Is that something you want? One of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is because I discovered this into the journey. I wish someone had shared these things with me when I started the journey because I would have put the systems in place sooner. I wouldn't have reached that point of burnout and deciding that I really getting to that point of where, you know what, I'm done with this. I want to quit. I'm burned out. This is not it. I want it and I have a business that supports the life I'm called to live. And the systems allow me to do that. And I have assets that I own. I have an email list that I can communicate with regardless of what the algorithm decides. Because have you noticed algorithm changes all the time on all the platforms? Doesn't matter. LinkedIn even just changed their algorithm. I have a follow up process that doesn't depend on my memory. I have a funnel that helps people understand the products that I offer, even when I'm not online, that makes it convenient for them in their time frame. I can create content that continues teaching, encouraging, and building trust, even after it's already published. These skills, they stay with us even when the platform changes. That is what asset ownership means in real life. It's having that system and having those things to plug into that really leverage the assets you have. It's not about being overly technical. Oh no. I no. I still don't know all that code stuff that happens in the background, and I don't need to, and you don't either. It's about reducing my dependence on constant effort. It's about building, refining, allowing it to work, modifying, upgrading, allowing it to work, and having that system to help the movement continue, to help to carry the belief forward. Yeah, belief gets you going. Now we need the system to help you continue to move. Why does the system matter so much for us? Systems are especially important for us, not because as introverts we're incapable of doing the work. We're extremely and deeply capable. We carry a lot internally. Sometimes we replay conversations. Sometimes we think about how something landed. Sometimes we think about how it might land. We want people to feel like they're seen and feel like they heard, and we care about the things that we do well. That's depth. That depth is part of our strength. But without that structure of that system, that same depth becomes decision fatigue. We spend too much time wondering at the post. We rewrite the email 6 times. Or we don't even start the email because we're going to rewrite it 6 times. So why even bother? We don't do the newsletter because, like, we want it to be perfect. We delay the follow up because we're trying to find the perfect words. We have this whole business discussion and decisions in our head that may or may not happen, usually don't happen the way you plan it anyway. That's heavy. Heavy. A good system helps remove some of that pressure. It gives you a place to begin, it gives you a language, it gives you a rhythm, and it allows us to use our energy for discernment, for creativity, for leadership. It helps us use our energy for connection instead of constantly reinventing the process. And before I put my systems in place, I was doing that like all the time. So many document tweaks. Make one change and then, oh, I got to go back and I got to change all the things. And I don't need to do that. We don't need more noise. We don't need the heavy. We need the leverage. We need the systems that allow us to be visible without feeling consumed by visibility. And that's one of the reasons why I like systems so much. We need the system that lets us sell without feeling like we're chasing people. We need the system that creates consistency without requiring us to override our nervous system every single day. That's not laziness. That's wisdom. When we have the belief that starts the movement and the momentum, and we plug it into a system that is known, that's proven, that works, even when our energy is down and we don't have to make decisions about it, we're in the position to move our business forward, to see results that come because we're consistent. And the consistency is tied up in the system. And we have assets that support that. Not only supporting the consistency, but the conversations. And the third thing we need to do is stay connected. Here's what I've also learned: the system helps you build, communities help you become. Because there's still days when you know exactly what to do, and you simply, let's be real. Sometimes I feel like there's coaches and mentors who they won't necessarily tell you that there's going to be days when you don't want to do it. But here's what I'm going to tell you: there are still days when you know what to do and you simply don't want to do it. You have the training, you have the checklist, you have the tools, but then doubt shows up, fear shows up, life be life in, it kind of gets heavy, and you wonder, is anybody really paying attention? Like, really? Is anybody really paying attention? You wonder whether you waited too long, or you're behind, or you're late. You wonder whether, you know what, am I really cut out for this? That's not a systems problem. That's a human problem. A software can't solve it. A funnel can't solve it. An email can't solve it. Um, and a training video cannot look you in the eye and say, you're not behind. You're not too quiet. You're not disqualified because you need a different pace. Keep going. That's why I believe builders need community, not just information, but encouragement, perspective, prayer, accountability, celebration. People who can celebrate the small win with you because they knew how much courage it took for you to take that leap. And that's why I created the Introvert Achievers Network. It's not another place where people collect information and never use it. It's part of the ecosystem. It's a place where thoughtful women can build meaningful businesses and increase their leadership without becoming someone that they're not. It's a place where they can grow their income, they can grow their impact, they can strengthen their voice without feeling like they're having to be on all the time or performing. It's a place where profit and purpose, you can be in the same room, they coexist. It's a place where you can get strategy, encouragement, connection, and the place to do this. There's not a lot of places out there for introvert women that you can do this. Because you can build alone, but it's hard to stay steady alone. And that isolation, it has a cost. And over time, it can start to cost you your belief. When you feel alone, every setback feels personal. Every delay feels like failure. Every quiet season starts whispering that maybe nothing is working. But when you partner with a community, it helps you see what you can't always see from inside your experience. It reminds you that growth is often happening below the surface before it becomes visible above it. You've seen the iceberg picture where like this much is sticking out on top, and then it's like all this below, right? Having that, it helps you to stay solid and focused and centered because you got the belief that set you on the path. You got the system, and that's part of your leverage. What the community does is it creates a resilience, and you need all of them. They all belong together. This is where the full picture comes together for me, because I don't believe you only need more belief. I don't believe you need more business education. And I don't believe community alone is enough. You need the whole system. You need the belief that helps you see what's possible. You need the systems that help you build what's possible. And you need the community that helps you stay connected to who you are while you are building it. That is how I see the Home Business Academy working with the Introvert Achievers Network and using the framework of the Quiet Impact Method. That's how they work together. There's so many mechanics that you can learn inside the Home Business Academy: traffic and funnels and conversions and follow up, asset ownership, the practical pieces that are in one place that will let you move forward in your business without breaking your bank, without a lot of stop starts, without a lot of getting totally lost in trying to figure things out. It's been made simple. And then you bring in the Introvert Achievers Network because it supports women who are implementing those mechanics of doing what you're doing. Your leadership, your confidence, your consistency, your courage. It helps to bring in that connection, the perspective, that encouragement, and aligned accountability. Not something else for you to put out there that says, oh my gosh, that like that heavy weight of getting things done, but that accountability that comes from, you know what, I am showing up and I'm showing up powerfully. These are the things that I'm going to get done and I commit to them. And then under all of that, it's a quiet impact method. It's a framework that I created. You don't have to sacrifice your peace to be profitable, to be a leader, a strong leader. You don't have to sacrifice that. You don't need to perform like an extrovert to be influential. You don't have to build a business that consumes your life in order for you to prove that you're serious. You can amplify your presence. You can profit from your purpose. You can lead from your strength. And you can do it without compromising your peace. That's it. Not business systems instead of personal growth. Not community instead of business education. Not belief instead of structure, but all of them working together. Because this I know, belief without a system is frustrating as heck. Systems, when you don't have community to lean into, is isolation. And community without implementation is inspirational, but it's not profitable. And there is no movement. Without all three, your growth won't be sustainable growth. I want to give you three questions to reflect on. The first one, do I still believe in the vision I'm building? Do I still believe that? That's the first question. Not the version someone else told me to build, not the version that looks impressive online, but the vision that feels aligned with my life that I'm actually called to live. The second question, where am I relying on effort when a system could support me? Where are you repeating work that could be documented and put somewhere else or automated? I'm not talking high, big automation, but simple automation is an email list. That means you're sending it out to multiple people instead of one at a time. Where are you depending on your memory when you could create a process? Oh my. Where are you consistently explaining something that could become an asset, meaning a lead magnet, meaning something that you put together that tells the story over and over and over for you, that you don't have to be present to share that story? And here's the third one. Where am I trying to build alone when community could help me stay steady? Where do I need perspective? Where do I need encouragement? Where do I need people who understand both your ambition and your need for peace? These aren't judgment questions. These are questions to lead with. Whether or not you choose to hang out with me in the Introvert Achievers Network or leverage the tools of the Home Business Academy. You know, people ask me, why do I talk about both of them? Why do I talk about the Home Business Academy and the Introvert Achievers Network? Because the answer is simple. They solve different problems. The Home Business Academy teaches me how to build part time, and the tools and strategies are applicable to whatever you're building. And the Introvert Achievers Network helps to keep the members becoming who they were called to be. One gives tool, the other one reminds them of who they're becoming while they elevate their business, while they grow their business. And I put the two together. You don't just build a business, you build a life that supports the business you're called to build. That's what sustainable growth looks like. You have to have belief. And then that system creates your momentum. And that community, that creates your longevity. That keeps you going. And when you use the framework, it keeps the way you build aligned with who we are, because the goal is not to become someone who can carry more and more and more. The goal is to build something that does not require you to carry it alone. First, answer the questions. Answer the questions for you. If you're ready to understand business, I'll leave information about the Home Business Academy in the show notes. Maybe you have community and you don't need the community part. If you do need the community part, and if you're ready to build alongside other thoughtful women who understand your vision and they get it, your leadership, your desire to grow without losing yourself, I'll leave the information for the Introvert Achievers Network down there as well. You don't need more hustle. You need belief that helps you stay anchored. You need systems that support your effort. And you need the community that helps you stay on course. Thank you for spending time with me. Until next time, keep building with intention, keep leading with quiet strength, and remember, belief gets you started. Systems keep you growing. Community helps you stay. And none of it requires you to compromise your peace.